Well, shooters and reloaders and Three Circles passengers and members, Happy New Year to you, 2025. And what we're doing today is, as you recall, I've shot a lot of 9mm cast bullets, specifically the 147 grain truncated cone. And these were used for steel shooting back in the 80s and were fantastic bullets shot out of my SIG 226. And yeah, I used this regular stock holsters and we would shoot steel. And I burned up a lot of these. What we did was we bought these commercially cast and they're actually moly coated. Today we're going to go ahead and reload this 147 grain moly coated cast bullet for 9mm to see how our newer 9mm handle cast bullets. Now, guns like the M18 and the Walther PDP and especially Glocks are not intended to shoot cast bullets. They're intended to shoot jacketed bullets. But with the guns like the Walther PDP, which by the way has polygonal rifling, that's not the problem shooting cast bullets. They're safe to shoot cast bullets through a polygonal rifling. But the PDP Walther has polygonal rifling, and then the M18 SIG has, of course, the standard cut rifling. We want to see how those two guns will handle the cast 147 grain truncated cone bullet, because if they handle them well, I've got a lot of these left over from my steel shooting days. Let's go ahead and show you what we're going to do. Now for cases, we're going to do wet tumbled Winchester, matched Winchester brass. And there's about 155 of them ready to go. There are those 147 grain moly coated cast bullets. For powder, we're going to use Ramshot True Blue 5.2 grains, and that's taken out of the Lyman 51st anniversary reloading manual. And yes, that is not a maximum charge. The maximum is 5.3, so we're going to go with 5.2. And the stats on that should give us somewhere around 1,020 feet per second and somewhere around 31,000 CUP pressure. And we're going to load to 1.058 overall length. And for primers, we're going to use a Gila small pistol primer. Well, before I start, I thought I'd show you something very interesting. This is a SIG brass casing that's been primed at the factory, and we purchased these primed. But notice that one of them has the primer has been actually, the side of the primer has been ripped loose and is sticking out of the base of the case. So this was a reject, but it got into the bag of product. And so I got one here that basically is a no-go. So this primer is ruined, but I'm going to go ahead and deprime this to show you that when I resized all the cases, the Winchester cases, and decapped them, this is the way it went. So, of course, we've got the Lee resized die. That's a full-length resized die. The rest of the Winchester brass, as you see, wet tumbled. The primer pockets are clean because they were decapped before wet tumbling, and the insides are perfect. Wet tumbled brass is really a joy to use. So the next step will be to go ahead and do neck expansion mouth flaring with the Lee die, as you see here. So we'll go ahead and set this to open up the case mouth to accept that 147 grain bullet. the bottom driving band, you see the bottom driving band, how it enters the case mouth? That's what you want. And when you put it in, the bullet won't fall out. So that's perfect. Well, there's a coffee mug that's got 150 9mm cases in there, all expanded and mouth flared, ready for priming. And if you wanted to do another 50 to make it an even 200 in this coffee cup, this coffee mug, you could. Okay, the Lee Ram Prime in the Lyman turret press, the All-American 8 turret press, easy. Okay, here's the Redding 3BR powder measure, and then we'll put it right on the Hornady balance beam. That looks pretty good. I don't think we'll get any closer than that. Let's go ahead and throw 10 charges in the cases. And that's why we like Ramshot True Blue powder. Very consistent. Okay, here's the 51st charge. Indeed, that's why we like Ramshot True Blue powder. Okay, here's the 101st charge. That is very nice. Now notice the powder level in those cases. To do the bullet seating, notice how the shape of the factory Federal 147 grain Hydra-Shock bullet, how the nose profile and bluntness of the nose of that hollow point matches the shape of the 147 grain truncated cone. So this, of course, is the Lee bullet seater die for 9mm. And the cool thing is that Lee just announced a new product. It's a micrometer seating stem for their seater dies. So once we get a hold of those, we'll be able to micrometer adjust, do fine adjustments on seating depth. That is a very welcome thing for Lee, and it's about time that Lee came out with something like that. Well, we went ahead and put a bullet into every case mouth. So bullet seating. Now, if you were really sharp, you would have heard a little bit of grating. A little grating sound as we're seating the bullets. The reason is that the inside diameter of the seating die is a little bit on the narrow side, so it's already closing up the bell of the cartridge case mouth as we're seating the bullet, but not enough to cause any shaving, which is just fine. Well, there sure isn't any need to get those cases into a loading block now. We'll just go ahead and box these up. Well, any convenient bulk box will do. 150 rounds. It's a perfect fit in this box. We'll go ahead and close it up and head to the range. It's going to be great to see how the M18 and the Walther PDP do with the HAP reloads as well as these nice 147 grain molly coated reloads. If they shoot as well as the previous 9mm pistols, then we're going to be very happy. And if not, this ammo is great for our other guns anyway. See you at the range. Bye for now.